Hey guys, today I am filming my 4th update for my Makeup Use Up 2018. If you guys did not see the intro or any of my other updates, I'll have my playlist linked up in the cards, and this is my yearly project pan. So I have chosen specific items I would like to either use up or hit pan on by the end of the year, and I would also like to finish up an additional 50 makeup products. So jumping into the Makeup Use Up items, I was able to hit my goal on 5 items over the past 2 months, which is pretty dang good. I'm feeling really happy about that. So the first one is the NYX Sculpt in Highlight Face Duo. I was just trying to use up the Ivory shade. This was in my summer project pan that just ended. If you guys did not see that, I'll have my playlist linked up in the cards as well. I tried the contour color. I did not like this shade on me. It was really gray, really purpley toned, and I had a hard time blending it out, and it looked awful. But I was just using the highlight shade as an under eye corrector. This is a nice light color, but it is a little peachy for me to use as a concealer on its own. So it was a really nice corrector. This gives about medium coverage, more of a natural finish, really easy to blend out. I do like this product, but I don't love it enough to buy this duo just for the highlight shade. I like this product better than the NYX HD concealer actually. So was a decent product. Happy to have this out of my collection, but it isn't something I would repurchase. The next item is the MAC eyeshadow in the shade Omega. I was using this as a brow powder. It's a very light color that's great for cool tone blondes. I worked on this for years to use it up. You definitely get your money's worth when it comes to MAC eyeshadows. I love this powder. It's very pigmented, very beautiful. This was in my Finish 13 by Halloween project pan that's still going on. I'll have that playlist linked up in the cards. I do love this product, but as you can see, I tend to dye my hair more of a warm tone blonde. So instead of this one, I've been using the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in the shade Blonde. That's my holy grail. I have several backups of that, so I'm going to continue using that one until in the future maybe I want to go more of a cool tone blonde. But for now, I will stick with the Lorac, but this was definitely a good product. I was able to hit my goal on one of my shadows. This is Anastasia Raw Sienna from the Modern Renaissance palette. This was in my summer project pan. My goal was just to hit pan on it, and as you can see, I have hit the tiniest bit of pan. It was pretty difficult. I have to use an Anastasia shadow like 5 times a week for 3 months usually before I hit pan, so it was very close on this one. I absolutely love this shade for a warm tone crease color without pulling too orange. I really wish they sold that shade in a single. I love it so much. So I am putting that shade to rest for now because I have hit my goal on it, which was just to hit pan. Then I finished 2 lip products, which is insane. The first is the MAC Patent Polish Lip Pencil and Go for Girlie. This was in my summer project pan. So this is a very bright neon warm pink shade. I used to really love this color, but now it's just too neon for my preferences, but I do love this formula. I love jumbo lip pencils in general, but this has a great full opacity. It has a really nice shine, which makes your lips look fuller. It does have a nice thickness to it where it doesn't feel heavy, but it lasts on your lips for quite some time. Leaves a little bit of a stain behind, but it's not sticky. I have 3 other shades I really love, so this formula is amazing, and I would purchase more shades in this line. I just wouldn't repurchase this shade, but it feels amazing to have this used up. My other lip product is the Tarte Tarteist Glossy Lip Paint in the shade Obvi. This is in my Finish 13 by Halloween project pan, and this is just a little mini size. Obvi is a really nice warm peachy nude color. I love this. This is such an underrated product. I've never really heard people talk about this. I just threw it in the project because I thought I could use it up, but I ended up falling in love with this formula. So this is a very opaque gloss, but it is not sticky whatsoever. It is a little thick. It doesn't feel heavy, but again, it will last on your lips for quite some time. It gives a beautiful amount of shine to make your lips look fuller. This is a lip gloss where all the shades are some kind of nude. They go more of like a deep brown, but still in the more nude neutral family. These go on sale from time to time, and they were a Sephora Weekly Wow, but this shade and the shade goals that I wanted were both sold out, so I wasn't able to get them then, so I'll cross my fingers that maybe these will go on sale half off at Ulta sometime. I love this gloss formula, not enough to buy it full price, but if I can get it half off, I will be all over it. So definitely recommend this formula. I absolutely love this color. You guys know how much I love warm peachy nude, so that was a total fave. So now I will show you the progress on all of the makeup use up items I have left, which would basically just be eye and lip products. First up is the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Caramel Cool. This may look different since the last time you guys have seen it, and that's because just a few days ago I did mix this up to make it creamy again, and I haven't used it at all yet. But I did just start my fall project pan, which I'll have linked up in the cards, and I have quite a few shadows that I will be using, and I think this would be a really, really great base for my lid shade. So that is how I will be using this one, and I hope to hit pan on it again. I definitely don't think I'll have this one used up by the end of the year, but I hope I can get a lot of good use on it during this fall. This is the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Frappe. I've used this probably 3 or 4 times so far. I do still have a good dip on it, no pan yet, but this is also in my fall project pan, so I hope that maybe by the next time I update you guys, I will have hit pan on this. From the Modern Renaissance palette, I also have this shade Burnt Orange. This was in my summer project pan, but I wasn't able to hit pan on it, so I rolled it over into my fall project pan to use it as my transition color, and my goal is still to hit pan on this, so fingers crossed I'll be able to do that by next update as well. And the last eyeshadow I have is Isabel from my Anastasia Master Palette by Mario. This is also in my current fall project pan, using this as an outer corner color. I probably won't have pan on this one until 2 more updates because I'm using such a small amount of product just in the outer corner of my eye, but I hope to hit pan on this by the end of the year. But I've used all of these shadows together with a few others, and I actually really like the way the look turns out, so hopefully you can get a ton of use out of these in the fall. My last eye product is the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon. I haven't used this one at all. I probably won't use it until the winter time. So these are the markings I have, and I have this much product left, which is a ton. I need to try to make myself use this as much as I can this winter. I know this liner will probably dry out soon because that tends to be what happens with these liners. So if I don't finish it this year, I will roll it over into next year's project. And now I only have 3 lip products left in my project pan, which feels very exciting. All 3 of these are in my current fall project pan, so hopefully I can get a ton of these things finished during the fall season, but we will see. I don't want to set my hopes up too much. So for the lip product, I have the Tarte Tarteist lip pencil in the shade Latergram. This is a terracotta color. This is just a sample size lip liner. It's a mini, and this is a product where you cannot twist it back down, so I won't be able to really know how much I have in here, but I've only used it a couple times before I put it into this project. Then I have my NARS Audacious lipstick in the shade Raquel. It's a really nice nude color that is mostly peachy, but it has a little bit of pink, and I am going to try to use up the whole thing if I can, but my goal is just to use up half of it. So right now I am right before the letter N, so if I can be right before the letter R by the end of fall, then I will feel really happy with that. And if I don't finish it this year, I will roll this over into next year's project pan to get it used up, because it is one of the older lipsticks in my collection, and it was freaking expensive and way overrated, let me tell you. And then I have my Smashbox Always On liquid lipstick in the shade Driver's Seat, which is also more of a terracotta color, which is why I'm going to pair these together. I can see through the packaging a bit, which is why I added it into this yearly project, and I hope to get some good use out of this. So I'm really excited to update you guys and see how much progress I can make on all of these items. But if you're wanting to keep up with me, make sure you are following along with that fall project pan to see more of my progress. So that's all for the makeup use up products. Now on to my other makeup empties. So I went through and counted up how many additional makeup products I've used up this year, and so far I have finished 46 out of 50, which is amazing. We'll definitely hit the goal of 50 by the end of the year. I cannot wait to film my end of the year empties. It would be amazing if I could finish 100 makeup products total, including the items from my makeup use up. So we'll see. That is a lofty goal. It sounds like a lot, but I definitely think it is possible. So for primers, I have 3, and the first is a foil packet sample. So in this empties, I have a foil sample and then some Sephora foundation samples. I don't know if you guys think I should count these or not. I didn't count them in my numbers today, but I wanted to ask you guys in a poll for these videos as well as my yearly makeup empties. Should I count these products in my number total? Not really in like my cost total, because these were all all for free, but should I add them in the total of the amount of products I use up? I'm gonna have a little poll up here, yes or no. I'm fine either way. I don't want it to feel like a cheat, but out of foil packet samples, I got, I think, about 5 uses out of the primer sample and 3 full face applications out of the foundation sample. So let me know your all's thoughts in the poll. So anyway, the foil sample I used up is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. People rave about this for oily skin. It was my first time trying it. I think it's pretty good. It's nice and smoothing. I don't think it is very oil controlling. I don't get why it's amazing for oily skin. It doesn't have a dewy finish and it didn't make me greasy, but it was kind of just so-so. I had really hyped up that foundation and it's not bad, but I'm just not obsessed, which is good because that is incredibly expensive. So I was glad I was able to try it. I have a ton of deluxe size samples, one of which is in my Halloween project pan. So I've got a good bit to use up. So I'm glad I enjoy it. It's just not amazing. And the next one I finished up was part of my summer project pan. This is the Boscia Porefecting White Charcoal Mattifying Treatment Primer. So this is a mattifying primer that does feel a little bit like glue, similar to the Becca Evermatte and the Makeup Forever mattifying primer, except this one is better because it's easier to work with. I have an easier time blending it into my skin, but this is a primer that does not mesh well with all other moisturizers or other primers, and you have to make sure that you blend it in well, or sometimes it can be visible and your foundation looks a little patchy on top of it. This wasn't the worst to work with, but it was just a little bit more difficult than I would like. It controlled my oil decently well, but not amazing enough that I would want to work with it. So I'm happy I have this used up, but it's not something I would repurchase. The other primer I finished took me ages, and this is just a deluxe sample size of the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. This is my holy grail pore minimizing primer. I have 3 of these minis and I have the full size, so I am set on primer for years because this mini took me ages to get through and it was not full. The Dr. Brandt samples never are full, so it was incredible how long this lasts me. But the reason I love this is because it has a really thin consistency, but it actually fills and blurs your pores. Your skin looks super smooth, and this is a product that I think would work well for all skin types. It's not going to be too oily or too drying. It's amazing with how thin the consistency is. It just blurs so well, works well with all other primers, moisturizers. Absolutely love that. A holy grail item I will continue to repurchase, but I won't have to for a while because I have a ton of backups. But I highly recommend you guys check that one out. So for foundation, I have 3 different foundation products. The first 2 would be 2 different samples of the Fenty Pro Filter foundation. So I have one in the shade 120 and another in the shade 130. I did use this in a full face of first impressions, and I thought I was going to be 130 because it looks more warm tone. Well, this is extremely olive tone, and I'm a very true yellow, but this looked green on my skin, so it was a hell's no. And as I said, I was able to get 3 full face applications using that, but I did mix it with something else to get my perfect shade. And then the shade 120 is a little peachy for me, but it's definitely workable, and this is a light enough shade that I can use it on its own. I did not have high expectations for this foundation because some people like it, but a lot of people I heard really weren't enjoying it. But I loved this foundation. I felt like it was a very high medium, really leaning full coverage foundation, more of a satin finish. It wore really well on my oily skin. Now, it's not the most mattifying, but it didn't really break down throughout the day. I didn't look shiny. I can't believe I'm really saying it, but this is a foundation I think I actually will purchase in the future once I use up a few others. You guys know I'm ride or die for my Hard Candy Glamouflage, my Estee Lauder Dubwear, and I really love the Too Faced Peach Perfect, but I actually think that I like the Fenty Beauty foundation more than the Too Faced, and I really did not expect that, so I'm really happy that I got those samples and got to try it out because I fell in love. And then my other foundation product I used up was in my Halloween project pan. This is the Lancome Tinty Doll Ultra Wear Foundation in 140 Ivory Neutral. The Lancome foundation shade range, they have a lot of shades, but all of the pale shades are very pink or peach. This is the lightest neutral tone, and this is still too peachy for me. It's a little dark and then it oxidizes. So there is no good shade match for me in this range, which is such a first world problem because I know I have a much easier time than deeper complected people do finding my shade match, but it's really hard to find fair yellow tone foundations. But anyway, I wasn't in love with this formula. It gave a medium coverage, more of a natural finish. It didn't hold up that well against my oil feel a lot of people compare this to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. For me, Double Wear way outperforms this one, so I will not repurchase in favor of Estee Lauder. And then I have 3 face powders because it's me, and you guys know my skin eats powder alive. So the first one I have is the Dermablend Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This was in my Halloween project pan, I think, and I was using this to set my under eyes. So this is a translucent powder that does leave a white cast, so I don't think it would work well for all skin tones, but Dermablend does have a banana shade and a deeper shade, which I think is great. I love that it leaves a bit of a white cast because for me it actually brightens under my eyes. Several other loose powders tend to darken my concealer and then my under eyes don't look bright. I know recently my under eyes have been looking way too bright. I'm getting a lot of comments about it. I hope it looks better today. I feel like my foundation looks too dark today. I have been having the worst time. I've been trying so many different combinations of complexion products, so let me know how my under eyes look today. I hope it's so much better, but anyway, I love this powder because it is super smoothing under the eye and it doesn't feel heavy or cakey, and it's a really nice brightening shade. So I did actually purchase this during the Ultra 21 Days of Beauty. I'm so excited to have the full-size product in my collection. I love this just as much as the Laura Mercier, maybe even a little bit more. Speaking of the Laura Mercier, I did finish the travel size of their Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I love this product as well. I think that this does a nice job of mattifying under my eyes because I do have very oily under eyes. This does darken my concealer a bit, and this can also look a little dry and cakey under the eyes, so I don't think this would be great for people that have dry under eyes, but I know this is really raved about. This is a product I really like. I love both of these. The Dermablend is actually quite a bit cheaper, and of course I'm going to be getting the full size for half off, and it is more brightening. So it's a toss-up, but I really do love both of these and I would definitely recommend them. I currently have 2 little mini samples of the Laura Mercier powder that I'm using as well for my under eyes, so both of those are great products I recommend. Then I also finished up the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. This was in my summer project pan. I put it in the project because I wasn't really enjoying it. Now it is my holy grail. So this powder does oxidize on me and it gets a little dark, so I do have to mix this with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade 5 Fair to help get my perfect shade match. This powder is very finely milled, but not too much. I've tried some powders that are so fine that I feel like they literally poof, disappear in the air, and I waste so much product because I can't get enough of it on my face. So this has the perfect consistency. It makes my skin look so smooth, flawless, and it truly keeps me matte. So this is seriously the best face powder I've ever used, and this is my new holy grail. I don't want to go back to pressed powders. I don't really want to try other loose powders. This is it for me, so I cannot wait to repurchase it. It is definitely worth the money because you get a ton of product and it's a really good value price per gram, so holy grail, definitely will repurchase. I finished one brow product, which would be the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Blonde. I decided to try out Blonde, but this is a little bit too red tone for me, so I went back to using my favorite shade Taupe. The shade Taupe is a really great shade for me. It isn't too deep or too cool, too warm. It's a great neutral tone for my brows. I love how skinny this brow pencil is. It makes it really easy to draw the outline of my brow and fill in the front, and then I fill in the center with more of a thick angled brow pencil. This lasts me a really long time when I use it in combination with an angled brow pencil. I love the formula of this. It isn't too creamy or too waxy. I find it super easy to work with. I will never buy the Anastasia Brow Wiz again because this performs just as well, and I really like this shade for me. So this is a holy grail product and I would definitely repurchase. I finished the Anastasia eyeshadow in the shade China Rose. This is in the Tamana palette, but you can buy this as a single. It looks just like NARS blush in Orgasm. So this is something that you can use as a shadow, but I actually use this up as a blush. I repressed it into another compact, used it as a blush in my summer project pan. I thought it looked absolutely beautiful, but I don't need to repurchase this as a blush because I have NARS Orgasm and the Balm's Hot Mama, and I don't need to repurchase this as an eyeshadow because I do have MAC Expensive Pink, but it's a good formula. For eyes, I finally finished up my Milani eyeshadow primer, which is in my Halloween project pan. One tube of this lasts me about a year and a half. You totally get your money's worth. I do have pretty oily eyelids, and this does a great job of helping to keep my eyeshadows from creasing. This is something I'll definitely repurchase in the future. I do have quite a few eyeshadow primer backups right now that I will use up first, but this is definitely my favorite one that I've tried so far. Definitely will repurchase. Then I used up 2 ColourPop Super Shock shadows. one from my summer project pan and one from my Halloween project pan. The one from my summer pan was the shade Get Lucky, the most gorgeous gold in an ultra metallic finish. It looked like liquid gold on the eyes. It is amazing, my favorite gold of all time. I'm not sure if ColourPop is discontinuing this one. I really hope not, because it's an amazing product, but I'm not sure. Definitely recommend this one, and you guys know how much I love the ColourPop Super Shocks in general. If you're wondering how I get through them so quickly, so most of mine are old and they tend to dry out, and a lot of people just throw them out at that point, and I would for the matte shades, but for the more shimmery finishes, I apply them on my lid with a sponge tip applicator, which really helps to get the precision I need, but also it makes it easier to pan them, and then I'll take a second layer with my finger to really intensify the shade. So that's how I get through mine so quickly, and the pans are not very deep. The other shade I had was Summer Lovin', which is a rose shade with some silver and white. It was a tie-dye shade. I tried a bunch of different rose gold shadows from ColourPop. This one is my least favorite. I definitely would not repurchase it. It was limited edition, but I still wouldn't. I would choose Amaze, Lala, or Weenie over this one, so I definitely wouldn't repurchase it, even if I could, because I have other shades I prefer, but of course I love the formula. Then I used up two mascaras. The first is the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I went through this in like 2 months, and usually I can get mini mascaras to last 3 months, maybe even 4. This is such a dry formula that it just dries up really quickly. It has a natural bristle brush. It did give me some nice volume, but I really wasn't as in love with this as so many other people are, but it is a good product. I don't see myself purchasing this because I have other drugstore and high-end mascaras I think way outperform this one. My other mascara is the Jessie's Girl Dial Lash, which I was sent in PR quite a while ago. I've never heard anybody talk about this mascara, but it's amazing. So this is a very wet formula. It is a plastic bristle wand, and the Dial Lash is because it has this little knob you can twist to change the shape of the brush. But honestly, I never twisted it. I just left it like normal. I left it straight. This gave me such good length. I apply my more volumizing mascara first, then go over top with this one, and it really gives some good length and separation and makes my lashes just look amazing. So this is something I think I actually will repurchase. Out of all of the mascaras I've tried with a plastic bristle wand, this is definitely my favorite, so highly recommend you guys check this one out. And the last item I used up was my EOS Smooth Sphere in Vanilla Mint. You guys know I love the Sweet Mint as well as the Vanilla Mint. The ones with the swirls are supposed to be more moisturizing. I find that they feel the same on the lips, they moisturize just the same. But you guys know this is my holy grail lip balm because the consistency is not too thick or too thin. It moisturizes really well, so I will continue to repurchase these forever and ever. So guys, that was my 4th update for my makeup use up 2018. I would love to know your thoughts if you tried any of these products, and I would love to know if you guys are doing a Girlie project pan or any other project pans. I would love to follow your progress either on YouTube or Instagram, so let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.